Let's do it. Let's get right
Right
into it.
into it. Last week, the entire sports world was set ablaze when Ja Morant was suspended for his Instagram live that showed him holding a gun in a Colorado nightclub and all the events that led up to his suspension. Earlier this week, Gilbert Arenas, who has also had his issues with guns in the and the NBA suspension, offered Ja some advice on what he needs to do to change his image, most notably cutting his hair. Sticks and I have differences of opinion on this. So Sticks,
For the first time in two complex history, bro, we are on opposite
yeah.
sides.
So Sticks, what's your thoughts on Gilbert Arenas' advice to Ja Morant?
So coming from where we come from, Delo, we Fayetteville is we talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one of those places where it's easy to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we were growing up, the stigma around dreads was what Gilbert Arenas is alluding to, is that it looks thuggish, it looks, to some people it looks raggedy, it looks dirty, it looks like somebody from the street, somebody who can't take care of their hair, who can't afford to get a haircut, just out here thugging it, like getting it how they live, right?
Right.
And I know a lot of people with dreads. It's a lot of people within my company in the corporate world with dreads, and natural hair these days are becoming a lot more acceptable within the corporate world, within society, to where being natural is okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's presentable, of course, right? I personally don't think that Ja need to cut his hair. I mean, you know me. I'm not that type of dude. I actually talked to you and talked to a couple of people about actually getting dreads myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been hearing that I would look good with them, yada yada yada. That's some bullshit, I think, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in the corporate world. I'm a finance manager. I have to be presentable. I wear suits to work every day, and if me wearing suits to work every day and getting dreads would be presentable, why does Ja, who is a professional athlete, who's a young kid, who's had dreads his whole career, now all of a sudden need to cut his hair? I think it's bullshit. What you think?
So I think Gilbert is right. Um, and I don't think he's right in the fact of saying, for the simple fact that he is saying Ja needs to cut his hair. I think what he's alluding to and what he was trying to get at in his whole little advice monologue to Ja Morant is Ja is going to have to rebrand himself after he comes out of this whole situation. When he comes out of it, don't know. But after that, he's going to have to go through a whole rebranding process. And
Mhm.
the completion of that rebranding process is going to have to be him changing his look, changing his image. As you mentioned earlier, the stigma and the perception of dreads and braids and natural hair in general used to be that it was tied to gang relations and thuggish activities, so on and so forth.
Right, right.
And so while the government did pass a law last year that bans discrimination of natural hair,
Hmm.
braids and dreads typically seen on a man, that stigma, in my opinion, I could be completely wrong and off base with where we're moving as a country, but typically that stigma still sits with a man wearing his dreads, wearing dreads,
Hmm.
especially if he's had some type of negative activity behind him as well, or to deal
Hmm.
with negative activity. I think that perception really sticks with him, and so perception wise, I think Gil is right because it has everything to do with how Ja will be perceived moving forward and not with Ja himself. I think this will only him cutting his hair will only speed up the process of him being completing that rebrand and maybe people seeing him in a different light. I mean, he could cut his hair. It could go either way though, right? So he could cut his hair and people and him being a model citizen, people still would probably not accept what he did and say, oh, he's a changed man. Um, but it's just what our culture has to
Hmm.
do, which is unfortunate. And that's what
Right.
I want to say too before I continue to dive into it. It's unfortunate. I'm like you. I think he shouldn't have to, but if
Right.
he wants to have, um, if he wants to have the image and get back to being the Ja Morant that people love, know and love before all of this happened, he probably is going to have to cut his hair, rebrand himself, and cut his hair in the completion. I'll give you one example. I can give you plenty more. Um, Kobe Bryant, RIP. When
Hmm.
he got before he got into all of his that little allegation that happened in 2002, he had the
Hmm.
fro. I mean, the fro is not like the dreads or braids, but it's a little bit of rebelliously seen.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but he cut his hair after all of that happened, and from there
Hmm.
on out, he's pretty clean cut. I mean, that's just
Hmm.
that's just one example of kind of rebranding yourself, and we all know what Kobe went on to do after that. And so,
For sure.
perception wise, I think Ja will have to cut his hair. As harsh as it is, as much as we want to say no, he shouldn't have to, I think he is going to have to do that.
I still don't believe that, bro, because like perception is not always reality, dude. Like
Mm,
people can look at you and have their own preconceived notion about the person that you are,
hmm
but until they get to know you, people can't. Jane off the street can see me walking down the street, and she can see 6'6" black dude got a hoodie on, some J's. She can already. I ain't got dreads, but she can look at me and think I'm a thug until she
hmm
talks to me and says, "Oh, this dude is in corporate America. He's a finance man. He makes good money. Say he's got a good head on it." But you know what I'm saying? So like, perception's not always reality.
So can I
This
stop you right
man.
there though?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you keep going, but I just want to stop you right there. So
Damn, Kanye.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna let you finish.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dead
yeah. I'm
ass.
gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you
Oh,
finish, but let me say what I gotta say. So the key part of what you just said was until she gets to know you, until she talks to you.
right.
Before that, her preconceived notions are gonna be, oh, this is a tall black dude. He got on the hoodie. He might be. I mean, is again it's wrong. We all should not judge a book by its cover, but
Right.
this is the reality that we live in and have lived
But
in
see,
up until this point. Is
but see, the
somebody is
issue
going to
is
judge you based off of how you look, and I got
right.
plenty
But
of
the issue is
examples.
we. I feel you, but the issue is that people already know who Ja is. Ja has been on the main
No,
stage
they
for the
don't.
past.
They don't.
Just listen.
Yeah,
Just
go
listen
ahead.
to what I'm
Go ahead. Go
saying,
ahead. Go
right?
ahead. Hmm
From what we know, from what we publicly perceive about Ja,
hmm
is what we already know. Grew up in a
hmm
2 parent household. He grew up pretty upper class, higher middle class. Went to a private school, did good in college. He's doing good in the NBA now. From what we've seen up until the last 2 weeks, well, over the past year, because all this stuff happened last summer and beyond.
hmm
What we've seen over the past year is what people are now conceiving Ja to be, or
hmm
perceiving Ja to be. Him cutting his hair is not going to change that notion.
hmm
What's going to change that notion is his actions moving forward. The person that he portrays moving forward. His hair ain't got shit to do with that. He's always had dreads. Nobody's thought Ja was a thug until he started doing thug like shit, doing hood rat things with his friends.
hmm
That's when they started thinking Ja was a thug, doing all this dumb shit, being in the strip club, walking up in volleyball games, talking shit to a 17-year-old kid because he called his sister a bitch, talking to a fucking mall security dude, trying to fight him, fighting a 17-year-old kid at the pickup game. All of these things is what making him seem like a thug. His hair ain't got shit to do with that. So
That's true.
once he cleans his image and the way people portray him, he just got to keep it just like Gilbert said, he got to keep his nose clean for the next 2 or 3 years, and he's going to be skipped over for some All-Star games. He might not be picked for an All NBA team because of this, but he just got to keep his head down, focus on basketball, and everything will change itself. He ain't. I don't think he has to cut his hair for that shit to happen, bro.
So this is the thing. You are saying that because of who Ja is, we know who Ja is because of his playing
From
prowess.
what we've seen for the
From
past
from
5 years
what we've
of him
seen,
being on the main stage, correct?
and he's been growing his dread since he's been in the NBA. All of that is correct. But just because we think we know Ja because of the information that's been disclosed to us because of who
Mm-hmm.
he is in the NBA, and because he has had his hair that way, does not mean that he should not I won't say should not, that cutting his hair won't help his image moving forward. And again, I'm not saying he should cut his hair, but the perception that he has or he will have moving forward, if he cuts his hair, is going to help to alleviate some of that perception.
But D'Lo, the perception ain't because of his hair, bro. The
I
perception is because of
understand
his
that.
actions. If he changes
I
his actions,
understand.
he changes the
Okay.
perception,
All right,
bro.
Stix. So listen. So when you go to court, I'm gonna give you a couple of examples of what how this all plays in, and it's not right. I'm agreeing with you, but this is the reality that we live in. You say perception is not always reality, but in this case, it 100% is. When you go to court, and I'm asking this question, I know the
Mhm.
answer. I just want to see if you're gonna answer it. When you go to court, most times, 9 times out of 10, what do?
I'm gonna put a suit on.
You're gonna put a suit on. That's one part of your image. If
Mhm.
your hair is wild, what else are you gonna do? Or your face is wild, what else are you gonna do?
I'm gonna clean up.
Exactly. So most people are going to cut their face, trim their beards and all that stuff, or cut
Mhm.
their face completely. They got long hair if they can help it, or if they care, they're gonna cut their hair, or they're gonna put it back in a nice, make it look nice. That's just
But
what
why
it
can't
is.
Ja do that? Why can't Ja do that though? Why can't
Because
Ja just put it back and keep his hair and change the perception through his actions and his character? Why can't he do
because
that?
this is why Ja can't do that. Well, he can do that. He can do that.
He
But
should do that.
this is okay. So he can do that, but the fact of the matter is now Ja is not only going to be in front of a court, the judge and the jury for 4 to 6 hours or whatever the case is. He's going to be in front of the court of public opinion for the rest of his life or the rest of his NBA career. So
That's why
now,
his actions are more important than his hair, bro.
yeah, his
That's
actions.
exactly what
Yeah,
he's
it's
on the
about.
court of public opinion. He's a NBA superstar.
Mhm.
He's gonna be in the public eye for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and
So his hair is a minuscule part of of the character that he is, bro.
and
His actions speak louder than his demeanor. I'm trying to spit the words out because I'm getting live. But but his actions are going to speak louder than the actual his appearance. Actions
I
speak louder than appearance, bro.
I get that.
Change your actions, you change the perception. Your hair has so little to do with that, bro.
I
Because
get that.
going back to your court example.
Mhm.
I have hair on my head now, right?
Mhm.
I have quote unquote Kobe with the fro. I have a fro. I have like a high top fade.
Mhm.
If I have to go to court, I'm not cutting it because I'm going to court. I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna make sure it looks neat. I'm gonna edge myself up in my face, and I'm gonna put my suit on and go to court. I'm not cutting this off just because I'm going to court. Fuck what you think about how I look. Think
That's
about how the man is. Whenever I portray this man to you, think about the man, not what I look like.
but
That
Sticks,
shit's
you and I
stupid.
both know that's
Society,
not we
bro.
you and
That's
I
but
both know that's
it's
not how society works, bro. You and I both know that. I mean, regardless of how you feel about this situation, about Ja and his hair, about how people perceive you, maybe people are going to perceive Ja moving forward. You and I both know that is not reality. You know that people are going to judge or have judged him or will continue to judge him based off of how he looks. He can change, he could come back and be a part of the 12 disciples and they still going, what I'm saying? They still going to judge
nah,
him.
that ass though.
They still going to judge him based off of how he looks because of the shit that he's done the last year. They're going to say he has thuggish he's done thuggish actions and he still has the hair that may we can
Come
perceive.
on,
Listen,
D-Lo. Come
I
on,
know
bro.
you what you this is how we got into this whole thing because we were talking about this back and forth. I
Right,
agree with you.
right.
He should not cut his hair.
Have to cut his hair.
He should not have to cut his hair. But
Right.
because of perceptions, and if he wants to gain regain all of the things that he has had before this point, I don't think he's losing any of his Memphis Grizzly contract as of right now that we know of.
Right.
But we are starting to see some endorsements being taken away from him. If he
Mhm.
wants to regain all of that, he's going to have to go through a rebranding process. And the completion of that rebranding process is going to be him cutting his hair, regardless of
It's
how you
so
feel.
corny.
I exactly, but that has
Let's
nothing
think of
to
that
do
word
with
again,
our
corny.
culture. It
Right.
has nothing to do with the black culture. It has everything to do with how corporate America and white society views that type of hairstyle. You and I both know that. And that's the argument that I'm making. It has nothing to do with our culture. If it was up to us,
Mhm.
no, man, don't cut your hair. Be strong. Your hair is where your strength comes from, is what
That's what I'm
you
telling them to do.
know what I'm
Don't
saying?
fucking cut your hair. Be strong and change your character,
It
change
ain't
your
happening.
actions, change your image, and change your image with your actions, bro. Change your image with your actions. You don't have to change your appearance to change your perception, bro. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that shit. You know
It
what?
ain't about
Just
what you
because of this
believe though,
argument,
bro.
just because of this argument, I'm getting dreads, nigga. Fuck it. I'm
I
getting
know you
dreads.
ain't. I know you're
Oh
not,
my,
but
I'm
it's
not.
okay.
I'm not. I'm not
Yeah.
because I don't think I'm just because I don't think I'm gonna look good with them. But
Yeah.
bruh, it's just it's so stupid, Delo. It's so dumb. I don't like how society has this stronghold on appearance, bro. From dreads to beauty standards to fat shaming to BBLs to all of this shit. Society has a stronghold on appearance, and that shit is fucking corny. That shit is
Mhm.
so corny to me, dog. Like I don't fucking know, bro. I don't know. It's just I just feel like, and I'm strong in my stance. Ja,
Mhm.
if you see this fucking video, hopefully you will like and subscribe. Make sure you don't cut your hair, bro. I don't think you should do it. If your publicist and your whoever thinks that you should do it, dog. Okay, if you feel like that's what you need to do, I support your opinion. I just your decision. I just don't think you should have to. You change your perception through your actions and your character moving forward. Fuck cutting your hair, bro. I don't like the idea of you doing it. I
And
don't.
and so
I
I
don't.
in this situation, in every situation that we talk about, I'll tell you to and I'll preface this by saying I agree with you. I don't
I
think he
know.
should
I know.
cut his hair. But take your feelings out of it, and what would you suggest he do if your feelings were gone? Like if you were saying, "All right, bro," and it's not about money. I know the last couple of weeks we talked about some topics where money was a big issue. So I
Mhm.
don't want it to be about money. If money was excluded from this situation, what would you tell Ja Morant to do in changing in regarnering the image that he had prior to everybody knowing what he was doing in his free time?
What would I if Ja was like me and you?
If Ja was like me and you, right?
Not an NBA
Not
superstar,
an
not
NBA
on the
superstar.
not in the court of public opinion.
Yeah,
What would I
not
tell Ja to
none
do?
of that. And he got into some type of issue to where maybe potentially he lost his job. Some of the things that he had starting to snowball and get in line for him. He lost all of that. Removing your current feelings about it out of the way, what would be some advice that you gave him?
The first thing I would tell Ja is I would tell him to watch the company that he keeps.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two, if you want to keep that same company, don't take those same actions that your company are that your company is whatever they do. If you don't agree with it, if you just doing it just to fit in, which is what I think Ja is doing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it just to fit in, if that's not how you really feel, don't go along with the bullshit. Peer pressure is a real fucking drug, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Thirdly, I would tell Ja that moving forward, the things that you did, leave those in the past and turn over a new leaf. I'm never going to tell Ja to cut his hair, bro. I'm never going to tell him to do it. Even if he was just a regular guy working at Enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
and he went out and was on live on some dumb shit and he got caught up with it and was suspended, not fired, but was suspended from the job.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I wouldn't tell him to do would be to cut his hair. I'd be like,
Okay.
bro, like, okay, that was something stupid that you did. Do you think you're gonna do it again? No? All right, cool. Well, that's one thing that you realize was dumb. The second thing you need to realize that's dumb is the reason why you in the situation is because of the company you keep. Get away from them niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Get away from them niggas. They can still be homies, but love them from a distance because they're the reason why you in a lot of this bullshit that you in. But cut your head, bro. I think that's an extreme, bro. To change
All
your
right.
whole appearance, to change public perception is extreme to me.
So let me ask you this: as things continue to come out, as allegations continue to come out, what if hypothetically he's charged with something and found guilty? We already and we're not talking about NBA Ja. We're talking about regular Ja. We're talking about regular person. You know how hard it is for a convicted felon of any kind to get a job, let alone get a job with a conviction and certain hairstyle. Even though the bill was passed last year that doesn't allow discrimination, you still would tell him not to cut his hair. I find it hard to
So he
believe, bro.
him going to jail. They most likely gonna cut it anyway.
No, they don't cut. Do they? They don't think they do that in jail. You can be in jail with.
I'm thinking military.
You
I'm
thinking
tripping. My fault.
military?
I'm thinking military. So
That's what. And this is the point I'm trying to get to you is, and he has not been convicted with anything right
he
now,
hasn't been
right?
not in the
Not
state
in,
not in the state of Denver. Yeah,
right.
or
He hasn't.
Colorado. Not in
Yeah,
Denver.
he hasn't been convicted in the court. And
Right.
this is where I think your anger is coming from. Is in the court of public opinion, he is guilty,
One hundred
right?
percent.
In the court of
100%.
public opinion, he's guilty. So, in
Mhm.
order to fast track any type of gaining where he was prior to all of this happening, he's going to have to, which he's already done, issue an apology. He's going to have to
He
lay.
gonna have to actually come out and apologize. Fuck a written one. He gonna have to like come out and be on video like us and like make a fucking public statement in front of the Grizzlies and in front of the world, bro. That's what he's
Yeah,
gonna have to do for
I mean
real.
he will do that,
Yeah.
but at least he's
Yeah.
issued some type of statement
Right.
in
Right. Right.
on the opposite of what's been going on right now. He's going to have to lay
Hmm.
low for a little bit, or just not do anything, come back to playing basketball, continue to ball how he's been balling, and
Hmm.
then he's also going to, at some point, like you said, he's going to have to address it publicly, showing his face, showing the remorse, showing all of that, and then the final part of that, whether you like it or not, and I don't like it, but it's him cutting his hair because in the court of public opinion, he is guilty. And if he was found guilty in court and he was trying to regain all of the things that he had after leaving serving his time and trying to get a job, a part of that path to getting all of that back would be changing his image as well. That's all I'm gonna say
Changing
about
his
that.
changing your image don't mean changing your appearance though, D'Lo. But that's all I'm saying.
All right. I mean, we
That's
can
all I'm saying.
agree.
That's all I'm saying. I
We
think
can agree to disagree. I
have
think
to.
I
You
you
have
know
to.
what I'm trying to say, but
That's what you're trying to say. I know
you're
exactly what you're
stuck
trying to say,
on
and I
you're stuck
know
on the
I know
hair.
what you're trying to say, and I agree with you that in the court of public opinion, he's guilty. If it was just a regular, everyday guy like us, if he got convicted, did his time, and now he's out, and he still has the dreads, he's gonna be looked at as the same person as before he went in, right? That's
Hmm.
what you're trying to say, right? And he
Yeah.
should cut his hair to change the perception. That's what you're trying to say. I 100% agree with you on that.
Hmm.
100%. My only thing is that, again, I'm gonna say you're right. My only thing is that I don't feel like appearance dictates perception. I don't think appearance dictates character. I don't think the hair makes the man.
You
The man, the actions and your character and how you carry yourself make the man. So he's been carrying himself like those dreads mean thug here over the past year.
right.
But prior to this past year, he's been carrying himself like this man, and he's been carrying himself like the dreads mean star athlete, model young man. Before this last year, the dreads meant absolutely nothing.
And
Absolutely nothing.
and
They was
so
just a
this
guy with dreads that's a good kid, that's a superstar basketball player.
right,
It meant absolutely nothing. Nobody was
right,
talking about John's hair before last summer.
right.
Now all of a sudden he got to cut his hair because he a thug now, and the dreads mean thug. Fuck that shit, bro. That shit is stupid.
And chill on the F bombs too, though. But look,
Man,
but look. So you are correct. If Ja's in our circle, if Ja's in any other circle outside of the circles that he's in, and or the presence that he's in, or the eyes that view him on a ongoing basis, then yeah, oh, yeah, he has to. He can keep his hair. All that stuff means nothing. It doesn't mean thug. It doesn't mean gangster. It doesn't mean he's doing hood stuff with his friends. None of that. It means Ja
right.
is a great athlete. He's expressing himself not only through his athletic abilities but also through his hair. I'm going to go back to, that is not how it works in what he is in the eyes that he's in now, in the company that he's in now, other than the ones that are directly around him and that was doing all the stuff with him. I'm talking
Mhm.
about the Memphis Grizzly organization. I'm talking about Nike. I'm talking about Gatorade, Coca-Cola, all those type of companies that he has endorsements with. That's that's the people that he has to change, the image that he has to change for
But they
now.
gave him these endorsements with the image he has now, though, Delo.
Yeah, but that was before all of this stuff came out.
And that's my point. Before all of this bullshit, no, his hair didn't matter. It shouldn't matter moving forward, bro. That's my point.
It
That's my
shouldn't.
point.
It should not. It should not. It should not. Keyword, underline, bold. Should not. But it will, is all I'm saying to you. And
I,
that's why I said I agree with Gilbert Arenas with the perception part of it, because he will be perceived, the hair will be perceived as whatever it will be perceived by corporations. At some
mhm,
point in time, as we continue to evolve, if we continue to evolve and be more inclusive, as we try to be in this country, it's not going to matter. But that is not this point in time, whether we like it or not. And so until that time, again, we're agreeing with each other without agreeing with each other.
mhm.
But until that time, we both think he should not cut his hair. But where our difference of opinion is the perception of the hair is why he should cut his hair. And you're saying he shouldn't, for the matter of perception and moving forward, how people will perceive him. I'm saying he should, for a matter of perception, moving forward, how people will perceive him. And so, I mean,
I
we
got
we
you.
we
Yeah.
all know that perception is reality, whether we think it's fair or not. But it's how we're perceived is how people will treat us.
I think most people think that their perception is reality. I think most
Right.
people think that way, and that is not never really the case. One person's perception does not dictate a full reality of anything. But like you said, I think we agree, but we're on two opposite ends of the spectrum. Where
Hmm.
you saying that you don't think he should, you don't think he has to, but he should.
Hmm.
I don't think he should or has to.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
So I mean, like I said, this like we've been talking about for the longest, man. The topic is is too complex to the point that it's like we could keep going on a tangent of why he should, why he
Right.
shouldn't for the longest. But I'm gonna take this as a too complex first. This is the first time me and D'Lo actually disagreed about some
Yeah, yeah.
shit.
And I mean, and
So
we completely agreed. I
we
mean,
completely
we
agree. We're just on
agreed,
two
but
opposite ends.
we
Yeah,
didn't agree. Yeah, 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 yeah. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but
So
ultimately, y'all let us know what you think about this. Do you think Josh should cut his hair for a matter of perception, or don't you think he should? Or how do you say that? Did I say that wrong?
do you
Yeah.
not think?
Do
Yeah,
you not think? Wow.
yeah.
Do you not think he should cut his hair for a matter of perception? I mean, you already know where we stand. Let us know what you think.
Mhm. Don't forget also like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no videos for sure. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you've gotten this far, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. Also, you can find us on all your streaming platforms wherever you find your podcast.